A small routine recovery day turned into an anxious moment for Barcelona today when Andreas Christensen did not show for the post-match recovery session after reporting slight discomfort, a decision flagged as a precaution by Hansi Flick's staff. At first glance, the update reads calm and sensible. Rest a player who felt something, avoid risking a knock turning into a longer-term problem, but look a little closer and the implications snap into focus. Christensen is not just any squad player. He is one of the few experienced centre-backs Barcelona can call on after departures in that area. He's also a player coming back from a frustrating cycle of injuries last season, and every minute of match time and every training session now feels like part of a fragile rebuilding process. That's why a single missed recovery session, however small, is being treated with outsized interest. He did return to competitive action briefly in Barcelona's latest game, coming on late and showing calm in possession and sensible defending in the minutes he had, which is heartening. But minutes on the pitch are different from the steady accumulation of training load that keeps a player battle-ready for a congested calendar. With La Liga fixtures, cup ties and European commitments looming, squad rotation will be unavoidable, and depth at centre-back is the commodity Barca can least afford to squander. Hansi Flick's approach so far appears conservative. When in doubt, rest the player and protect long-term availability rather than gamble on short-term continuity. That philosophy makes sense in the abstract. Teams that manage minutes well often win the season-long war. But it also forces tactical trade-offs in the here and now. If Christensen is rested more frequently, who steps in? Ronald Araujo has been the defensive rock when fit, but minutes must be balanced to keep him sharp across competitions. Younger options will see opportunities but also pressure. Do you throw an inexperienced pairing into tough away games, or do you reshuffle midfield shape to shield the back line? Those are real choices Flick and his staff must weigh. The club's messaging so far is deliberately soothing. This was precaution, not panic. That framing buys time and calms a restless fanbase, but it's also a signal that Barcelona are tightly monitoring every twinge after a season of recurring niggles for certain players. The bigger puzzle is the context beyond the single day. Departures of senior defenders in the squad restructure mean that the margin for error is slimmer. Inigo Martinez's exit, for example, removed an experienced option and placed extra value on the availability of the remaining centre-backs. That strategic shift makes any absence feel heavier because rotations that once would have been routine now have ripple effects across selection and results. For supporters, the next 72 hours will be telling. A return to training, a refreshed presence in team photos, or a matchday inclusion would be quick signals that this truly was nothing more than a precaution. A follow-up rest, however, or any mention of ongoing muscle concerns would escalate the story into a tactical emergency that could prompt more dramatic lineup changes. From a coaching perspective, keeping Christensen fit for the key clashes, the derbies, the European nights, the fixtures that define a title run is sensible. But football management is rarely purely long-term. The coach must balance the immediate need to secure 3 points with the long game of a full-season campaign. That balancing act is precisely why Flick's decision-making will be scrutinised here. Does he rotate aggressively to preserve players? Does he reshuffle formations to mask absences? Or does he risk short-term pickings for long-term readiness? Each path carries a visible cost. For neutral analysts, this little story is a reminder of how fragile squad planning can be. A one-day rest can become a week of speculation, and a week of speculation can become a tactical headache if not handled transparently and competently. For Barcelona fans, the emotional temperature is higher. In a club built on standards and expectation, small doubts feel amplified. The sensible course, which the club claims it is taking, is cautious load management, clear communication about player condition, and measured rotation that preserves stability without sacrificing competitiveness. Ultimately, the question in the title, precaution or problem, will be answered by simple, observable facts, training photos, matchday squads, and whether that calm, composed Christensen who returned for the final minutes of the last game is back in full swing. Until then, every update will matter to a team that can't afford defensive uncertainty as big fixtures stack up, and every decision Flick makes will be watched by fans, pundits and rivals alike, because in modern football, even the smallest touch of discomfort can change selection, shape tactics, and alter the course of a season.